David, how does it feel to be back with the Fireflies for another season?
Oh, it's truly blessed. It's been another, great off season, but also getting back to the community. It's been awesome, and we're looking forward to some great baseball out here in Columbia.
Now, you talk about the off season, and I understand you had a very big moment in your personal life during the off season.
Yes, yeah, getting engaged here at Finley Park in Columbia. My fiance Jen and I went to go see the light show for Columbia down in the winter, and decided to pop the question there. I thought it was the perfect time to do it, and the staff with the Fireflies really helped me out, and that was probably the more nerve-wracking part of my year, more than any playoff game or any time getting in between the lines. So.
But you really had quite a time here in the Midlands. You take the Fireflies to their first playoff appearance, and you come within one win of winning the first championship, and now you're engaged. So how can you follow all that up this season?
Just continuing to work with our players and our great staff, and with all the fans, just getting to really interact with them. Don't really want to change too much because of how much we were able to accomplish from last year. And I know it'll be a different group, but as long as we keep the same plan and approach, it should be a great season.
What was that playoff atmosphere like? Because that was something new for everyone, fans, media, Fireflies, playoff games.
Yeah, no, it was kind of what I expected. It was even more. The fans really came out, even for that short notice because you don't know if you're going to play that game 3, and they came out and just were really in support of us, and the players really fed off that energy, and it was really fun to be a part of it. It wasn't on the right end of it, but just so much development, so much great experience for those young players.
Okay, take us through the next few weeks for you. When do you leave to go down to spring training?
Yeah, I'm heading down next week, next Thursday, and get to see a lot of our players from last season. Well, everyone down there being with the big league team as well. But just really getting back into the swing of things and focusing on what we need to get accomplished for this next season. So it'd be great to see everybody, but then also we got to get to work starting up here. So
it's pretty challenging because when you go down to spring training, like you said, you'll see some guys that were on the team last year, but you don't know if they're going to be on your team this year because they could get moved up.
Right.
So what's the process of putting the team together that we will see here in Columbia?
Yeah, it's just for a lot of these guys, they just got drafted either last season or the year before, and it's going to be their first full year. So it's a lot of new beginnings for a lot of these guys, and just getting, figuring out if this is the right time for them to come up and moving them up to Quad Cities. So it's not every person's very different. So if we're going to try to get the best out of each individual, we need to know what's best for them. And that's the beauty of it, is that we're developing these guys, but also putting a good product out on the field for Columbia.
How important is it that you do have a number of guys who were here last year that experienced that success and also the playoff experience?
It was great to kind of see them postseason, because we do our instructional league down in Surprise, Arizona, and they walked into that facility like they were like the big team, because we were a playoff team in our organization, and they were just telling all the young players how exciting it was to play in front of this crowd and get to play meaningful baseball down the stretch. And so I really feel like for them it was great development, but also just kind of a little bragging right for them that they were a part of this organization and part of this team, that they had so much success, and now it's going to only carry them to have a great career after this. So.
And I know at this level of minor league baseball, the emphasis is on the development of the player so they can get ready for the major leagues. Right. So when you see a guy that's really performing well for you, in the back of your mind, are you thinking, I'm not going to have him much longer, because they're going to move him up?
That's a good problem to have for a lot of these guys. I want them to make that next level. I never want to keep them here as long as they can. But no, that's the beauty of it. I did it a lot as a player, just seeing a lot of development of each of my teammates and kind of how they grew. So now as a coach, it's one of my favorite things to do is watch these guys either have great success or failures and learn from it and how they can grow. And at this level, these guys are really young, so they're able to fail and learn from those mistakes and hopefully grow into not even just a good player, but just a good person as well.
but the fans also realize you keep doing the great job that you're doing. And, you know, the big league organization, they're going to go, hey, you know what? We're going to move this guy up.
They keep putting good players around me and good staffs. I'll look a whole lot better. So they're doing a great job. Just as long as we just keep doing what we're doing, just really excited to be back here. So.
Yeah, but the Kansas City organization, it seems like they do a great job with their minor league teams and their player development.
Absolutely. And I have always said it, even from getting, this is going to be my 5th year now with Kansas City, that we care a lot about the person as much as the player, or maybe even more. So, and it really rang true with the off season, getting to talk to these guys. I mean, I was talking to these guys all year, and you know, we got done at the end of the season. I didn't think I was going to talk to them until spring training, and they're wishing me Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whatever. So it's really cool just to see how much it affected not just myself but the players. So
what do you like to do in your spare time, which you have so very little of, when you're here in Columbia, because you guys are playing 6 games a week? So if you get a moment, what are some of the things you like to do?
I'm really, last thing when the season ended, the last thing I wanted to think about was baseball, because we're doing it every day. So now wedding planning is going to be a huge part of my process now too. So I'll be staying busy with that. But no, just really being at home. My dad was in professional baseball for 40 years, and he kind of lives through me now. He's retired, and my mom, she works at TJ Maxx, so she's helped me as much as I can with shopping for the holidays as well. So that time has been great. But no, just really getting spend some quality family time, and really the last thing to think about baseball in that moment, because then once we start ramping up here in spring training, that's all I'll be thinking about. So
I want to talk a little bit about Segra Park, which is just an absolutely magnificent minor league facility. And you won't be in town for the battle at Bull Street, South Carolina and Clemson. But what did you know about that rivalry before coming here, and what have you learned about it since you've been here?
Oh, it's been really big. Just from, I know a few people that went to school here, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. They're a huge sports town. I went to a South Carolina football game when I was in college. They played Texas A&M. They lost, and I could just see that the whole city was just upset. Like, it was just that really, it was great to see like a whole city get behind a team like that. And so I knew coming here that they weren't going to be messing around, and for us to have success that first season, I feel like was just a huge boost for the whole city, just to get behind a team like this, and hopefully we can keep it going and maybe win that last game instead of losing the last one. So,
what do you think about the format of that rivalry? Well, like this year, they will start at Founders Park, play the second game here, and the third game they will play at Clemson, and then next year it'll be reversed, starting at Clemson. Then they'll play at Greenville's minor league park and finish up at Founders Park.
Yeah, that's really special that they're able to do that, and it's also just the amount of history that goes into baseball in this city is awesome. I've learned so much from it from past years, and now, you know, getting to know a lot more people like Trip Keister, who was on our staff last year. He's now in Omaha, that played for Capital City. It was awesome. Just to hear his stories about how much the city rallied around that team, and then fans that were still coming to our games, talking just rich history about the baseball pastime here. So it's really fun to kind of bend their ear and kind of see what they have to say about what they have to say about the city.
Okay, so when will the team come to Columbia and start preparing for the season opener?
We start right at the end of March into April. We are on the road first at Hickory, and then we open up here on the 7th, so April 7th.
All right, well, we look forward to you seeing you when you get back, and we look forward to another run at the championship by the Columbia Fireflies.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And congratulations on the engagement.
Thank you so much.